welcome back to my channel and welcome to a huge purge and declutter here in my tiny beauty space. I have an entire bag, big hefty bag, dedicated to Boxycharm and a little bit of Ipsy makeup, mostly Boxycharm, like 99% Boxycharm. And another bag of other items from the drugstore. We've got some high-end items in here that I've purchased, some stuff that's expired, some stuff that's questionable, a whole bunch of stuff. Two huge bags to go through with you guys right here on my channel. So, oh my gosh, grab a tea, grab a snack, grab your water, get comfy because this could be a long video. I don't even know yet. Really quickly, I do want to say thank you so much for all of the birthday love so many of you guys sent me last week when I let you guys know on my community tab and on Instagram that I was going to be just kind of letting myself have the weekend off because it was such a crazy week for me during my birthday. My little tiny house had some struggles that we had to get taken care of and it was chaos here in our little house. So things are starting to come back together and it is now December, so I am so ready for those cozy, happy feels. Looking forward to something in 2020, you know what I mean? So let's dive into this declutter. I have so much excitement around this particular video because I have been pulling stuff aside for weeks now, and in a tiny beauty space when my house has kind of been a construction zone, oh my golly, I can't even tell you how much I keep moving these bags around so they won't be in the way so I can do this video, because after a declutter video or after I purge out things in my beauty space, I just feel like cleanse. It's like a cathartic thing where you can just remove the excess and see in your collection what you love and use. Whew, I'm so excited for that feeling too. So, like I said, let's dive into this together. Cheers! So again, like I said, I have two huge bags here. Huge bags. I think we should start with Boxycharm because I know a lot of you are my Boxy babes out there and you can appreciate to know what I'm getting rid of and what's just no longer bringing me joy. Some stuff that's, you know, pretty much close to an empty. Some things might be an empty in both of these bags. So I can give you a full review. Some stuff's brand new. Brand spanking new. I tried it a couple times and I just can't make it work, and I'd rather gift it away to somebody who I know could use it more than me. Expired stuff I get rid of, but just so you know, gently used things I do gift away to either friends or family. If it's, I don't think I have anything brand new in here to be able to donate, and in 2020 I know some of that's harder, but some of you always let me know resources and links in my comments, so if you're also looking for places to declutter to, some of you always leave links down in my comments whenever I do one of these, so be sure to check that out too if you're looking to do your own mini purge and make some room in your beauty space. Some of this stuff's going to be hard to get rid of, so let's go into this Boxy Charm bag first. I don't know how long this is going to be, guys, so like I said, let's just do this together. Something that is nearly an empty, and that's why it's okay for me to get rid of, but I loved it. You loved it. If you have bossy upfront pores like I do, a lot of you know this is a great product we got from Boxy Charm, and I was so grateful to have been introduced to this from Boxy Charm. I almost bought a replacement for this, but my primer collection that does fill pores is pretty full right now, so there's no need to keep adding to. That's the self-control that, you know, we're all always working on. This is the Touch and Soul No Pore Blem Primer. I've talked about this a lot on my channel, and as you can see, it's practically empty. I've been pulling off the top and scraping the sides to get more product out. But my primer bin right now is so full, and I've got a lot of things in here that are new to my collection, so be sure to be tuned and be subscribed because my birthday did just happen last week, as I mentioned, and I did add a piece or two to my collection. One of them was a repurchase because it was so good, but that's another video. Stay tuned and be subscribed so you learn more about what I got here in my little collection. But this has been a great product. I'm so happy that I got this. I'm so happy that I loved it. If you are an oily skin girl that has bossy pores, so many of you let me know you love this one too. It is great. It's not getting, you know, I'm not decluttering it because it was bad. I'm getting rid of the body essentially because it's empty. Now I can throw stuff away instead of storing. This is amazing. This is a newer product that I tried on camera. I tried behind the scenes. I have tried this so many different ways. And personally for me and my fickle eyelashes, it just doesn't work. So it doesn't make sense to keep storing it here in my beauty space where I look at it all the time and I go, I don't use you. I don't like you. Why am I holding on to you? Oh yeah, because I want to keep trying you. But then I don't try it and then I don't have enough room in my space for things I do enjoy. This is the Laura Geller Fortifying Lash Primer. I tried this, I do believe, again on camera. I think I've done it at least 2 or 3 times on camera with you. Specifically, I'm thinking about, was it the Halloween special that I did? I do believe it was the Halloween special where I was trying this on in both ways because we've all discussed, is it a primer? Can you use it alone? I tried it as a layering tool with another mascara that I love, and I tried it alone. I was impressed with neither of the sides again, so it doesn't make sense to keep storing this in a tiny beauty space. I will tell you though, as far as a mascara goes, I'm not going to re-gift or share something that didn't work for me because it's been on the eyes. That's not sanitary, but you can clean the wands and give them to, I believe it's like a wildlife sanctuary where they use the wands to help rescue and clean animals that have been in distress and need some more care. So I will be leaving that link below in my description box. This is from Glossy Box, a brand that reached out to me to kind of see how I felt about the box. And this is a nice product, but I have so many eye pieces that are like a topper for a liquid eyeshadow or a glitter or a shimmer. And this metallic one just is so close to my skin tone, you don't really see it. This is the Model Co. Liquid Metal Eyeshadow. It's a really nice shade. It's just so close to my skin tone. It looks like I'm really not wearing anything on my lids. It just has that little bit of reflective properties to it, so you kind of see it, kind of don't. And I really thought that because I was kind of gravitating towards a more natural look this year, as many of us are, that I would have a better use for this, but I don't reach for this at all, and I have fallen in love with those Stila Glitter and Glows. I have like 3 of these right now and another version that I enjoy more than this, so I thought, you know what, I don't really have room. I've been trying to organize in here more and more as the year ends. All right, a lot of you won't be surprised by this because this has been on my chopping block for a year, maybe? That hurts a little bit. This is the Milk Makeup Holographic Stick. A lot of you guys have seen me struggle with this on camera, and it's gone through, I think, a few declutter rounds. And I just kept wanting this to work because I like the idea of it. But in my life day to day, it's just not something I'm going to reach for. And I just keep storing it being like, oh, I used to go to concerts all the time. Well, that's not happening right now, and it may not happen for a while. And I don't really need to hold on to something like this when I have other makeup that's just as good. I also am not a big fan of cream makeups because I am generally an oily skinned girl, and this is something I wouldn't put on my face. It would be like more on the body, and I don't need to hold on to something like this for that. So I actually have some friends in mind that might enjoy this far more than me because I'm just not using it. I've learned I actually enjoy this brand. It is Nude Sticks, but the color of this liquid eyeliner I received is again more of a skin tone color, and you don't really see it on my eye. It kind of has a cool metallic-y look to it, but honestly, I'm just not using it. This is the Rock and Roller like Easy Glide eyeliner. It's one of those pizza cutter styles, so I was, you know, excited to try one for the first time because I'd heard about them, but the color's really not my jam. I don't usually spend an extra few minutes putting on eyeliner. I tend to have a bit of a shakier hand as it is anyway. I even thought about putting on eyeliner this morning to go with my green eye look for December, and I was like, that's an extra step. My hands are shaky. It could end up kind of crazy. So I'm just gonna declutter this. All right, I'm gonna try to work in batches because this could be a very long video if I keep going individually with you guys. I've got some lippies here that are actually all very close in color that I'm not reaching for. These are various brands that I have received, and I love trying indie brands. I love that part about Boxycharm and subscription boxes because it kind of pulls you out of your comfort zone, and you can learn about some brands that you love and you want to purchase on your own. That's also why I do these videos, because you don't have to have Boxycharm or Ipsy to learn more about a product and choose to go and purchase it on your own. But these are products that I just am not loving for a few different reasons. I'll let you guys know this Cab Lippy combo. This is like a liquid gloss lipstick and the Cab liner that matches is just colors that are too pink toned for me and I don't generally reach for overall. The lipstick has a really, really big doe foot applicator, which is a little hard to kind of maneuver. And also the formula on this just kind of doesn't jive with me very much compared to some of the other amazing lippies I have, and I have so many lippies. I don't like the formula and how it feels, so this one's going to be leaving my beauty space along with this Phase Zero lippy. This is again a color I don't really gravitate to a lot, and I didn't really like how this felt. All right, so I enjoy this brand. This is a Becca lippy this is the one I think I said smells like a cookie because that's where my brain goes. Most people are going to say mint. I'm going to say Girl Scout mint cookies. That's what I'm going to say. This is the Becca Glow and Gloss, but as you can see, it just sits in my tube, and look at the color distortion that it's got at the bottom. and it's kind of pulling apart. I feel like this is a product that you kind of just need to actively use a lot. Mine is in the shade Camilla Thin Mint. All I smell is a Thin Mint. I have cookies on the brain. This is a very like Pepto-Bismol-y pink gloss that for me, it just, I don't wear enough pinks on my lips for this to accent anything nicely. It kind of pulls a little too Barbie pink for my tone that I don't really wear a lot. And it's also very sticky. Like as I'm applying it here next to these other swatches, I'm like, ooh, I forgot how sticky this was because I don't reach for it. I also think the way that it lands in the tube doesn't make this very appetizing to put on your mouth. Just even trying to wipe off these swatches, that Becca one is super goopy. I don't think this is going to be a shock to anybody, but I've not been wearing lashes at all this year. I'm literally trying to go, when did I last wear them? It was probably pre-COVID, probably like a January or February video where I was like accenting an eye look, and I do love how lashes look on me, but because I have a little bit of a shakier hand and this is a lot of extra time for me in the mornings, like I'm not talking like 5 minutes like maybe a winged liner, I'm meaning more like this is going to be a 15 to 20 minute commitment for me. I'm just not reaching for them, and these are getting really old. I did love these a lot though, so that's why I'm going to let you know these are a great brand. I do like the Lashaholics brand. My favorite was one that we got from Boxycharm, and then I purchased this one on my own when I think it was either in a pop-up or I saw it somewhere on sale, maybe Ulta. This is in the Instaglam style, and I loved how these looked on my big eyes, but as you can see, these are looking kind of gross, kind of old. So at this point, if I haven't worn them this long, it makes no sense to hang on to something that already kind of looks like they've been worn a lot. The other one I have is when I purchased, did I purchase this or did they send it? I can't remember. This is the They're Real I Swear lashes, and they look nice. I'm just not reaching for them, and again, I'm seeing a lot of glue buildup, and the likeliness that I'm going to be cleaning these and wearing them again anytime soon is very minimal. I do still have some fresh lashes in there that are some various brands that I've got, but this one was even falling apart already. I've got some lashes falling apart, so I'm just gonna declutter these. I'm gonna do these two products next because I want to get it out of the way, because this one's harder for me because they are really good products. This is a very high-end brand, but every time, and I've said this recently in my videos, that I receive Fenty makeup, it's always that color tone that I just don't use and I just don't reach for. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can wear this for an eye look. I can use this for this occasion or that occasion. And it's just not come up, and I keep moving these around in my beauty space. So honestly, I'd rather give these to someone because it's a high quality brand. They're still really new, or relatively new to this year. We're going to be talking about some of the Kilowatt foils and a Kilowatt highlighter. I know none of you are going to be shocked when I say the Trophy Wife highlighter does not really work with my skin tone, but I did like to wear it with a fluffier brush on the face because it did add this gorgeous like golden glow to you. I've also used this on the lids because, I mean, yes, holidays scream gold. I know they do. But I also have so many amazing eyeshadow palettes that have great golds that I have stuff that competes with this, and then I forget about this because it stays in a different part of my beauty drawers. So I would rather gift this to someone that I think would like this more than me. The same can be said for this Kilowatt foil Mimosa Sunrise and Sangria Sunset. I was really excited about these, and they are nice. The hard part is, again, the color. And a lot of you guys know I do love an orange. Like, that's not even like a thing for me when it comes to eye looks. I love an orange. But I have so many orange eyeshadows. I was even thinking about pulling some out for you for funsies, and then I realized the mess it would make because I have so many. I love orange eyeshadows. So for me, I'm not going to be wearing either of these on my face, and so this size of a compact makes me think of this as an eyeshadow duo, not a face palette. And I have these colors, or close enough to, in eyeshadow palettes. So I'm going to gift away these awesome brands that are practically new to this year. I'm going to give these to a girlfriend. Something else, I think I either got this, did I get this last year? This is the Pretty Vulgar eyeshadow primer, and you guys know I don't reach for this a lot because the way I prime my eyes is very much out of habit, and I am a creature of habit, and sometimes that is just okay if something doesn't work for your style of makeup. I generally put on concealers and foundations on my lids, powder down, and then go in with my eyeshadows. That is just how I have always done it, and I have tried so hard to introduce some of these. I do have something newer into my collection as well. You guys know from my last Boxycharm video, and if you missed that video, don't worry, I'm going to link it above for you. The Alamar primer I held on to because it also is really sticky, so I think it's going to be great for a glitter glue. So I'm hanging on to this one and getting rid of this one. I don't need two in my collection if I don't even technically go that route a lot when I'm applying makeup. You know what I mean? Yes, there's going to be some eyeshadow palettes I'm going to talk about. Some of them will shock you, some of them won't, but I want to get through some of these smaller things first because we're about done with the Boxy Charm bag. I am so proud of us. Okay, let's talk about the newer product that I really was on the fence about putting in this video, simply because it's a high-end brand. I was excited about it, and it's something that I was always curious about. But when I let you guys know I was really struggling about a month or two ago with my morning routines, and I had been adding things, so I had to slowly pull stuff away, pull stuff back in to see what was making me break out, what was giving my skin reactions. I think this Farsali product just is not good for my skin type, and that is okay. So I'm going to try to find a friend or a family member that this would work better for. This is the Farsali Skin Tune Blur, and you guys know I've been all about the blur this year. I have been loving some more natural makeup, not today's look, obviously, but a lot this year I have been doing very natural looks, and I want as much blur as I can get for all these upfront bossy pores. And I thought, what a great opportunity to try something that is definitely in the wheelhouse of what I'm looking for right now. This product is just too much for my skin though. It's like a thicker product, and when it comes out, it seems very milky, gluey, and just on my skin, it doesn't work in well where it's just going to lay nicely. Makeup that I put on top of this never lasted well. I started noticing a lot of patchiness, a lot of movement. I'm already an oily skin girl, so I was just kind of like, okay, this doesn't feel oily though. Maybe it's something else I'm using. I really think this product just doesn't work with my type of skin, and that is okay. So getting gifted to a friend. All right, we all thought this was kind of gimmicky when we received it, so some of us that got it were a little cranky. I still tried this for you in a couple different videos. Again, was this in my Halloween one? I can't remember. Days at this point are irrelevant in 2020. You know what I mean? This is the Mud Masky Blue Light Technology Skincare. Blue light protection mask helps shield against harmful, high-energy, visible blue light from tablets, smartphones, televisions, LED, computer screens, all the stuff. Okay, none of us can prove or disprove. We think that this is actually working. It's another step to add. I didn't notice anything bad with my makeup when I did apply this, but I also don't, you know, you're not going to really know if this is going to work. It's very high-end priced. I just don't think this is going to be something I need to keep in my collection, so I'm going to get rid of this. It's taken up way too much real estate in this small beauty space. You know what I mean? Sometimes that matters. Even if you're like, oh, this could be a good product. If it's holding up space and you're not using it, get rid of it. All right, I got two cheek products here that I'm going to be getting rid of. One of them is, again, a milk product that I said is still good for natural days, but again, it's a cream product. It's a little bit oily when you put it on, especially on your fingertips for me, and then apply it. It just doesn't work well. This is the Milk Makeup Cream Blush. Oh, this is an Astro Glow Lip Cheek Oil. I'm sure you could do lips, eyes, or face. But again, I have oily skin, and this is already a very oily product, and the base won't go down, so it looks really ugly up here. But when you apply it, it's just got this like nice pink sheen to it, but it is still very oily, sticky based, and on my cheeks it was okay, but I don't reach for it a lot. I don't put it on my eyes or my lips. I have other products for that, so this is just something that doesn't really work with the way I like to do makeup. Okay, this is a newer product from Sol de Janeiro, and some of you guys love the scent, and I totally vibe with it because, you know, different strokes, different folks. That's why I do the deep dives on Boxycharm that I do, because what I think isn't always, you know, gospel. I like to get the polls of the audience and find out how other people feel about it. So some of you guys love this, and I just don't, and I can't get past the smell, but I also don't really like the formula as much, even though I kept trying to use it. This is the Sol de Janeiro like lip butter in Teeny Bikini. I was willing to work with this baby because the color, very pinky toned, peachy toned, and I can make it work. But I feel like, okay, again, to me, this smells like old Play-Doh. I know a lot of you say it smells like either like a buttery popcorn or maybe some sugary treat that you like. but for me, it does not smell like that. And at the same time, I feel like after I've had this on for a while, one, it wears down, but two, I always felt like I needed more chapstick after using this. So I don't know if it's just not working with my type of skin, but it's something that I found that when I was using it, even if I was trying to overcome the scent, the formula wasn't working well with my skin. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't even know, I think this was something I either got in the beginning of this year or last year. This is the Kat Von D, and it still says Kat Von D, so we know this is older. Dagger eyeliner. I've not been gravitating a lot to eyeliners this year because, as I've said, I really am a girl of just natural face these days. I can appreciate the black liner, and it does do a good line, but it also has like a brush tip to it, so it kind of separates, and I tend to have issues right at the edge of where my large round eyes are, so I have to like pull it up. It's honestly a good liner, but I knew it was getting older, and I'm just not reaching for liners. I have some other ones in there that I know I can just use and go if I want to, if I'm doing like a dramatic look and I'm like, I just want a little wing today. I could. This one just keeps kind of getting moved around and I'm not using it, and it's old. I've said before that when I got this, I was worried this was going to end up in a declutter one day, and maybe it was just me saying that and not being more committed to it, but I did try it again throughout the year. I just like different types of eyelid toppers, and like I said, those Stila glitters are gorgeous, and I do reach for those, but this color and this brand just isn't my jam. This is the Ciate London Eye Luster, and this one is like a pearly color. It's only good for 6 months according to the expiration. I don't see a name of the color anywhere on it, or I would tell you, sorry. But I don't really reach for this color, and I tend to find that it just kind of like lightens whatever color I have on my lids. It doesn't actually glow like this. Because after you spread it around a bit, it kind of just blends and marries, which is kind of what you want it to do, and just be a little bit of that little reflective property on your lid. I just don't reach for it. It's kind of loose. It starts to look chunky and not the way I want my eye look to look. It kind of looks a little scaly, I think is the term I want to use. It kind of gives you those reptile-y vibes on your lids, and I don't like that. I like it to either glitter or be like a nice sweep. This tends to look more chunky based, if that makes sense. So I'm not a big fan of this. I think I got rid of one earlier this year that was a purple because I didn't wear a lot of purple then either. All right, and one more thing I'm going to get rid of. I've said in the past, I'm not a huge fan of loose highlighters, so I always kind of like to have though one, maybe two on hand for the body, and if I'm feeling bold and want to do just a little extra zhuzh on the face. I'm not afraid of it, it's just it's messy, and I'm a messy girl. But this one is kind of like the holographic highlighter that was more in that cream base. I didn't really care for creams. It's a holography color, and I'm not using it. This Artist Couture loose highlighter here in the shade Purple Dream is a nice formula. I cannot deny that for a loose highlighter. Even though I'm not a huge fan, I do have a couple loose highlighters that are like Fenty and other things in my collection that I am keeping because I like how they look. But this Purple Dreams one, I have a struggle of using it because when you turn your head, you can see the purple glow, which is fun, but in a Zoom call when I'm working in a more industrial office setting, I don't always want to pull that out, you know what I mean? Ooh, and in person, it starts to look pink, and then it definitely shifts to more of a purple look. I'm not sure how well it's going to pull up here on camera. But again, when you've been going to more natural vibes, and I have so many highlighters in my collection, a lot of you guys know, this just is something I keep holding on to because I think I have regrets about getting rid of the golden one that I got at the very beginning of with Boxycharm. Like my first year on YouTube, we got a golden one. And I liked that one better than the competitor that I had in my collection from Boxy, which was the Illuminati one, I do believe. But I ended up decluttering it because I wasn't using it. I'm going to have to declutter this because I'm not using it, but this one's more because it's purple. I am hanging on to one that reminds me of this formula in a golden tone, though, from Fenty. So, you know. All right, now I've got three and a half eyeshadow palettes from Boxycharm that I am ready to just get out of my space. My eyeshadow palette drawer is packed right now, and I mean packed to the brim. I am actually still kind of going through it saying, okay, what am I going to be using for the next 6 months? Because if I'm not going to be using stuff, I need to plan to purge stuff because it is so full up in this baby. This one won't be a shock to you guys. I am definitely getting rid of the Illuminati and Isa Glam palette designed by Isabella Bedia. I'm so sorry if I'm not saying her name right. Just got a bunch on my lap right now because I just really don't like this formula. I know a lot of people didn't like the color story. For me, I was open to this color story like nobody's business. I wanted this to be cruelty-free. I sought out the brand and emailed them, went on all their social medias asking, hey, is this cruelty-free? I need to know. Finally got a response that it was cruelty-free, and I was excited to use it. So it's not even like the color story was stopping me. I could have put this in a giveaway and not given it a second thought, but I wanted to try it. And for me, the formula is just simply not there. It is very patchy. It has a lot of fallout. It doesn't last on my lids no matter what I do to my lids before and after. It's just not happening with this palette. And they require a ton of buildup. You're going to need a ton of time in the morning to work with it. And then you're still going to have an eye look that's like, meh, it's okay, it's all right. It's definitely not something that is worthy of staying in this tiny beauty space with a full drawer. You know what I mean? Again, I know some of you have been like, hey, I got a teenager that's like, I'll take that. If I had a teenager in my life, I'd probably be giving this to one of them because it's kind of like that kind of makeup. It's like beginner makeup. Fenty, please don't shoot me. I love you, and I do have things in my collection from you, but your Moroccan Spice palette, this is not my favorite, and I was excited about the brand and the color story originally. But I do think that this is not their best formula. I think this requires a ton of buildup. I even have to go into a lot of other palettes with similar colors just to get a nice blend going in my crease. It could be a skin thing, it could be me, but for a lot of these, even the shimmers, I don't get a lot of payoff. So for me, with something like this, you want it to show up, and it's such a subtle eye palette, even though the colors are bold. That's why I think I get so confused when I talk about this palette. Even staring at it now, I'm like, well, when's the last time you tried it? Could you try it again? Could you try it like that? Every time I've tried it on and off camera, I'm just always disappointed. So again, we don't need to hoard space in our beauty spaces for stuff that we're like, oh, but it's so pretty to look at if you don't have that kind of room. So it's okay to gift things away. I'm talking to myself and you at the same time to soothe myself that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Take a sip. I'm a little heartbroken about this one too, because I asked for this palette from Boxycharm and a choice item. You won't be surprised about this again if you saw my Halloween special. This is the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn palette. I'm genuinely heartbroken because I specifically got it because I was wanting to go out of my comfort zone, mostly with this bottom row, and these two rows were like more my comfort zone. I like oranges, I like neutrals, yellow pops of color are up my alley. I think it's fun. This row is why I specifically asked for this palette. And this row is the row that definitely let me down. I let you guys know and showed you on camera in detail how this cactus shade did me so dirty. I was heartbroken about it. If you have not seen that video, I've mentioned it enough. It'll be linked above. Trust me. The sky blue does not come off as pigmented as you think it's going to. Like, the colors in the pan are gorgeous, but for some reason this row does not come out that way. It's very chalky. The orange tones played so much better, and I really kept thinking, well, then I'll just keep it for those two rows. You know how many of those colors in those top two rows I already have in other palettes that I can use more of and I enjoy more? There's a decent amount. There is a decent amount. And so this is where you have to get kind of picky in your own beauty space to be like, you don't have to hold on to this when somebody else could use this whole palette and love it when you have excess, Nichole. This is not like, there's not famine in this beauty space of not enough product. You know what I mean? So I should be comfortable giving this away because the reason I bought it isn't working for me, this whole row. Sad but true. It's like a therapy session right now. I'm getting it out for me, but I think I'm helping some of you. If you're like still on the fence about a couple things in your collection that I'm talking about, you're like, ooh, that reminds me of this. If this is helping you, I hope so. Please let me know. Otherwise, I'm just rambling. And sadly, I just got this. Like literally last month, just got this. Not last month, this month. Well, it's December now, last month. This is the conversations you have with yourself when you do YouTube videos and you're trying to remember time in the year 2020. Either way, I just got this Dose of Color single, and this one is in the shade Jackpot. I showed you guys on camera how I tried to use this. I'm very scared to open this because it is a messy little bee because mine came broken and it's chunky and it doesn't want to stay. Oh man, it is all over again. Oh, and I can already see pan. Dang it. Where's the trash can? I'm just gonna get this ready because this is about to get messy. This is what it looks like, and I just received it. It looks like it's going to be a pretty deep green hunter tone with some like golden reflective properties in it. and it really looks black with a hint of green and gold flecks. As you can see, it is very chunky. So I'm just gonna let you know with the trash can here, this has gotta go. That was bag number 1. Whoo, let's take a sip, take a moment. That was a lot of my emotional state at that moment. Hold on. Okay, let's go on to the next bag. I could break this into 2 videos, but I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of you like longer content anyway. Some of you, when I only post a 40-minute video, were like, excuse me, that is not enough time if I've waited a week for you. And I know you've waited now 2 weeks for me because it was my birthday and I had tiny house chaos. So I'm gonna give you the full enchilada, and I wanna get this bag out of my beauty space. Okay, now these are items I have purchased myself from drugstores, high-end, all the stuff. We're going to also talk about lashes one more time for pretty much the same reasons. These are older. I have used these. We've got House of Lashes. We've got Lily Lashes. And we've got some from Sephora. And we've got some from Sephora here. These are all used. They all have caked up glue on them. I'm pretty much letting you guys know these are just big and fluffy. They were pretty. They had their moment in the sun here in my beauty space, but it is time for them to go because I'm not using them. I have no envision of taking all this glue off for a video when I have some fresh ones in here. So these needs to go. I am going to be gifting this next set away. This is something I got that are from Ardell, and these are just like accents. I'm seeing a lot more of these around lately, and I've got some friends that I think would really enjoy these. I'm just not pulling out glue right now. Like, that's the real deal. I don't want to pull out glue, take another 20-30 minutes, especially for something that's just kind of like an accent piece, but they're brand new in package, never touched, so I'm going to give these to a friend. All right. I was so excited to get a replacement from Boxycharm, but I purchased this on my own, and I have used it up. This is a dead body of concealer. Is that weird to say? It is. It's okay. It's okay. This is the Too Faced Born This Way, like multi-use concealer. You can conceal, contour, highlight, retouch, the whole thing. This is the one I purchased in the shade Porcelain. I learned about this from a lot of different YouTubers and you guys, but I chose my color selection also based off of Andrea Mattiliano. She and I have similar-ish skin types and hair color, skin color. So when she was dying about this a couple of years ago, a year ago, I can't really remember, and saying how good this was for her skin and her makeup application, I was like, girl, I trust you because we have very similar skin and face and all that stuff. So I fell in love with this then, and then when Boxycharm gave us a whole new replacement just as I was getting to the bottom, I was like, this is kismet. This is meant to be. So love this, highly recommend it. Still, it is more of a full coverage, so if you're going lighter coverage, it may not be your jam. Use less maybe, or don't get it. But I love this a lot, and this is just a dead body. Combination of empties, don't like them, purges. This is just a mismatch video. It's fine. All right, this one was hard to do, and I put this in this declutter I think last night or the night before as I was trying to put my tiny house back together, and I just kept looking at this going, I just keep moving this around. And it is because I have very fond memories of when I was first introduced to ColourPop, and I loved so much of their makeup. I was introduced to it by SamBam89, my very first collab here on YouTube. I'll link that above, but that was considered a really long video at the time. I think it was like 30 minutes because she went overboard over our budget because she just knew I loved makeup and she wanted to introduce this brand to me and a bunch of other stuff that she loved because she's just a sweet soul. So I have a lot of ColourPop in here that honestly is just old and I don't reach for. Some of it has dried out, so let me get it all organized. I think it was probably this time last year, too, that I was going through them, seeing which Super Shocks were still good, what highlights were still good, because when it's cream-based, it really does have more of an intense lifespan that you need to pay attention to. Okay, so the part that I just added in the other night were the singles that I have from ColourPop. Right now, they are in a Boxycharm little empty eyeshadow palette, so I'm going to keep that. But I don't reach for these shades anymore, but there was a time for years that anything that was on my lids was a neutral pink tone. Like if it wasn't a shimmery pink or a nude pink or a nude neutral, it wasn't in my collection because this was the color scheme of my life. And when I got introduced to singles, I was like, oh, what a great way to pull in and make your own palette. Well, other palettes came along, other things kind of started speaking to me more, and this just kept getting moved around, and I was like, well, if I put them in this spot of my beauty space, I'll reach for them more. I've not reached for these in over a year, and it's not because ColourPop singles aren't great. It's just because, well, one, I don't reach for this color story nearly as much. I can't think of a time that you've recently seen me with a fully pink look. But also, these are older. These are probably older than 2.5 years, maybe 3 at this point. That's embarrassing. Oops. But it's time to kind of get rid of these, along with some of the Super Shock shadows. Like I said, I'm pretty good about staying on top of those to declutter them, because once that creamy base is no longer creamy and it starts getting chunky and scaly, you got to let that go or you're gonna get something in your eye. I still love the Super Shock shadow formula, so I still have some of these with ColourPop. But a lot of the ones that I am getting rid of are ones that from this same era of the singles when I was purchasing those. I had a bunch of pinks in the Super Shock shadows and the neutrals. I had a lot of the same type of vibe in various formats. Also had a deeper one. Also had a fancy blue one when the blue trend became a big thing like 1.5 years ago. But these are dried out. I did swatch tests one night when I was kind of going through all of this, and these are the ones that are definitely aged out. I still have some good ones that are a little bit newer in my collection that I'm loving and I am going to keep using, but I did move them so I could see them more because these were in a spot that were harder to get to. And let's be serious, location, location, location. And this part was really hard because I love their highlighters. And I told you creams aren't really my jam. I am keeping one of their highlighters that is more of a cream base. This is in the shade Wisp. It is still beautiful and stunning. I am keeping this. But the one I am going to get rid of has too deep of a tone for me. And when I purchased this, it was this time frame when I was still kind of getting introduced to the brand and learning how their color stories went. This one was just too warm toned for me, and it was really hard for me to understand what I didn't like about this, so I just kept holding on to it, trying it different ways. This one is called Butterfly Beach. It's still super creamy. Like, I'm still shocked with how creamy it is, but it's just too warm based for me to hang on to when I have the other one that's much better for my complexion. It just looks like my skin is a little shimmery. It's not feeling like a highlight, you know? And it has a very pink tone to it. Like, it almost looks like when you get the wrong shade of foundation and it has that pink undertone and you're a bit more neutral or yellow toned. That's what this looks like. It's got this pink warm tone to it that doesn't jive with my face. But the other one I love. This is also really old. Another highlighter that is similar to that. I got 2 highlighters that are cream based from Ipsy when I was with them from the brand Space Case. I am keeping the one that is more skin toned, that is Seen from Space 1B. This one definitely has more of a skin tone property to it and I really enjoy that. It's a good formula. I like it. I also got 1C that is very white, and for me, I have not reached for this at all. I kept thinking maybe I would use it in an eye look or something, but it's just too pale for my skin. So there's no sense in storing it and moving it around if I'm not going to use it, you know? I'm going to get rid of some more bodies here of things that are expired or empties, and some of these are high-end. This little baby is the Becca First Light Priming Filter Insta Complexion Refresh. This is so empty. I didn't even realize it until this past week when I was like, going, my pump is stuck. My pump is stuck. And then I opened up the jar and I was like, there's nothing in here. It is an empty cave. What? I had no clue I had gone through this much of this primer, and I really, really love it. And you did see a little earlier teaser for an upcoming video. I did repurchase this. I love it that much. It is that good for my crazy skin. It's good and it's not broken. Don't fix it. Just re-get it. So this is a dead body here. I've let you guys know if you are looking for a nice high coverage but inexpensive concealer, if you can't afford that Too Faced, or you're just like, oh, that's just crazy insane. e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer is also awesome. This one is in the shade Medium Sand. I have 2 of these. This is the one that I gravitate to more in the summertime when I'm a little bit more tan. So I've used this all up. This is empty. Time to get rid of the body. I've also used up a lot, and now this is aged out. This is the Heavy Metal Midnight Cowboy Liner from Urban Decay. I had this since my St. Louis days. It kind of got moved around and I found it in a drawer, but I used to use this all the time for a little bit of sparkle, but as you can see, it's pretty much dried out. It's donezo. Loved it when I had it though. Super fun, especially for this holiday season coming up. Just a little bit right under. A little bit packs a lot of punch. I have two blushes here. This one is like an OG in my collection. It's like my beauty space relic. I was just loving this so much that I compared it a lot to some high-end blushes because I loved them. This is an e.l.f. product. This is still available for purchase, I do believe. This is the Candid Coral Blush. And as you can see, there is definitely pan on this. This is kind of what inspired one of my first pan videos back in the day because I was like, I don't even like blush, and I hit pan. This is a beautiful, springy, summery blush that has those coral properties to it that for me is my favorite kind of blush because it just complements my skin tone so well. But this is very, very old. I mean, again, from my beginning days on YouTube, that's how long I've had this, and it was still working fine, but I have so many blushes, and I'm also like, this is old. If you want a fresh one, just go get a fresh one, Nichole. This is getting sad, so it's just aged out. Another blush that I've had since my St. Louis days, I got this in like a Marshall's, but it is a La Roque blush, and I was kind of curious how I would enjoy this, but it's a satin blush, so it gave me this light luminosity with the blush that I was like, ooh, I can see this working beautifully in the spring and summer. And it did. This is the shade Luma, and it's a satin blush, so it's got a little bit of a thinner formula to it. I know it doesn't look like this in the swatch, but when you wear it, it gives you this light luminosity to you. And it's not too much blush, and I was not a blush girl, keep that in mind. Even though this color clearly is too light for me now. I'm not sure you're gonna be able to see it here on my hand, but it is really pretty on the face, but I don't reach for this anymore. I have better formulas now. I don't even know if they sell this anymore. It had its moment in the sun with me, but it's definitely time to get rid of it. Also, this had its moment in the sun with me, and this is a Sun Club matte bronzer from my friends at Essence. I love Essence. I think they create great quality products for inexpensive prices. This is the O2 Sunny matte bronzer. This is a naturally sun-kissed tan. Perfect for brunettes and darker skin. For me, this always pulled a bit more red toned, but I think it was last summer when I would use this with a fluffy brush. I loved how it made my face look like a suntanned kissed look. It was just gorgeous. The hard part for me has always been the size of this. I have Alex drawers in here, storage bins holding all of my blushes and bronzers and highlighters, and this sucker has always just been too big to fit into it, and it wouldn't let me close the drawer. So I kept moving it around, laying it down in other spots. But being somebody that does review makeup here on YouTube, I start to get more makeup as the year goes on, and that's why I do these declutters. I just don't use this product anymore. I've tried to reintroduce it to my routine, and it just hasn't performed the way some of my newer products have, and I just like my other stuff better. It's a better skin tone for me. It complements the way I like to do makeup better, and they fit better than this bulky guy. So I'm gonna declutter this. Okay, we're getting to the end here. I let you guys know I'm only keeping the Alamar primer for my lids in my collection. It works as a glitter glue as well, so I'm going to get rid of this NYX glitter glue. It has an expiration on the bottle of 6 months. I've definitely had it longer than 6 months. So that was one of the big factors of me wanting to get rid of this, but also I'm not really reaching for stuff right now that requires a glitter glue. Like I said, the Stila glitter and shine toppers are great. I don't even need anything for that. The Tati palette, when I'm pulling that out for my lids, doesn't really require glitter glue, so I'm just gonna keep the one and get rid of this. I let you guys know too earlier, was it this year or last year? Physicians Formula is no longer considered cruelty-free. So I've just kind of stopped using this bronzer, and I really thought I would just use it off camera, or even when I was using it, just kind of not mention it until I had used it up. The bulkiness of this product has really been the issue of, even when I have reached for this, you just showed you my collection there. I'm running out of room. That's only part of my collection, and I'm not reaching for this. And I do think it is because I know it's not cruelty-free, and then if I'm using stuff in a tiny beauty space, I want to be able to talk about it with you. I want to be able to review stuff for you in my faves and fails. What am I using at the end of the month? And if I don't want to talk about this because I know it's not cruelty-free anymore, it kind of just defeats the purpose of just reiterating how much I do like it. So this one's kind of fresh. I have a girlfriend I want to see if she wants it, so I'm just going to kind of see behind the scenes. But when you do beauty videos and you want to be able to talk about everything you're sticking on your face, this has been an issue for me, and I kept trying to overcome it in my mind, and it's been too long that I haven't been able to do it, so I'm just gonna get rid of this. I also have really good bronzers now that I've not even thought about this. This has not even been something I've missed, honestly. All right, getting down to the bottom of the bag. It's very, very exciting. We have 2 eyeliners here. I have the, how many of you had this? This is the NYX Jumbo Eyeliner, the white one in milk. I feel like this was a fad for a while on YouTube because a lot of us would use it in our waterlines to really like give that eye popping. It still works great. It's just really stinking old and it's looking dirty because I found it at the bottom of a drawer because I forgot about it. And also this Jordana Cat Eye Eyeliner. I have really liked this before. I always forget that it's a twist off eyeliner. Super thin. Like, look how thin that wand is. That is awesome. Again, oh, that was a bad swatch. Sorry. Swatches this afternoon are not great. It's still got a lot of pigment to it. It's still a nice liner. I'm just honestly not reaching for these, and it's been opened and aged out because I can't even remember the last time I used this. So I was just like, when in doubt, throw it out. Okay, so I have 2 more things in here. Okay, something else that has been really, really old in my beauty space that has been with my single shock shadows and stuff like that is something from Makeup Geek that I bought back in my very first house in St. Louis when I started my channel. This is like a Makeup Geek Afterglow pigment. This is when pigments were a really big deal in singles forever and a day ago. And I loved this. I would take one of my more narrow brushes, dip it in here because it had like the perfect little, it had like this little filter so you didn't get too much product so you could just dip your brush in. So I would just literally dip in there and apply the glow to like inner corners, under the brow, stuff like that. And then sometimes if I really wanted to pull it across the lid, I could tap it out into the lid and then do that. I loved the color. I went to go look at this when I realized it was still in my beauty space. Kind of got lost in the jumble, can't lie. And it is like chunky solid in there. I'm not going to show that to you because that's embarrassing. But yeah, that's got to go. This is very, very old. But I do have very fond memories of the Afterglow pigment from Makeup Geek. Really beautiful. I'm also going to get rid of something that was a sister pairing. It was a 2-pack essentially to the Tati Blendiful. I'll be honest, I don't reach for these as much as I was really hoping I would. But I do have a use for the bigger puff still a little bit. So I'm going to hang on to this. But the smaller one, this one is very stiff, and I know she said it was good for like under eye work, down the nose work, all kinds of stuff. I have so many brushes that I forget about this and I don't use it. I could see how this did work or was intended to work in a lot of different ways. But I have sponges, I have brushes, and again, as a creature of habit, I've tried to introduce some of these new tools, and if a new tool sticks with me, like a different style of brush, or a new sponge type, I'm all about it. I'm always open to new tools, and there have been things I have introduced as I've learned more and tried more. This one's definitely not cutting it. This one I could still figure out how to use, but you're on notice too, you know what I mean? Woo! Guys, thank you so much for sticking in there with me through this whole purge, declutter, empties video. Mini reviews on why they're leaving. This was kind of a hodgepodge of just me cleansing out this tiny beauty space. I'm actually really excited now to see these things kind of leave my space because then everything you're left with are things that you love, things that you want to reach for, things that inspire you instead of, I can't really use that and talk about it on camera. This pole's really too red. This is a mess on my face. When can I use this again? You know, you kind of go through the talks with yourself in the morning. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you happen to be new to my loud, weird, crazy, unique channel, hi new friends. I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all of these fun, loud, weird, unique videos that I do every single week, every Sunday. Bye friends.